Today we're going to go over adding a database in Moodle or the Agora. We're going to go to our community and turn our editing on. Then we're going to go and find where in our community we'd like to add that database. And there's a lot of different options, but you want to go to the block that's closest to where you want to add it. In this case, I'm going to scroll down to using technology. And in that block, I'm going to find where it says add an activity or resource. Select database. Notice a description of what it is appears on the right, and select add. I'm going to name my database. And I'm going to type in some directions. There's a lot of different options that you can see as you go through. You can change the number of entries that people are allowed to submit. You can decide if you want to approve them or if you just want them to self-populate. You can decide if you want them to allow comments on entries and what they need to submit before they can view other people's entries. You can change the availability. Now you're in your database, and because you haven't created any fields, there's nothing there, and it automatically takes you to that. So let's create our first field. We're going to do a text input, which is just a short box that people can put things in, and we're going to make this one called the name of the resource. Select add, and notice you have your first text field. Let's do another one. We're going to do a checkbox, and we're going to have this be about the audience for this resource. And you want to put in the choices, one option per line, so students, teacher, and teacher leaders. This could be also for administrators, both at the district or school level. And select add. You've got your second field added. Let's go ahead and make sure that there's a URL. A lot of resources that are submitted are websites, so we'll put that one in there. We're just going to type in URL. Pretty self-explanatory. And we're going to select that it auto links so that whatever URL you type in there appears and that it'll open in a new field. The last box we're going to do is a text field. And this is a larger one, so a text input was just one line. This is where you can put a more like a narrative or a paragraph. It gives you the option to choose the size of the box and select add. So now we've got 4 fields in our database. The next thing we need to do is adjust our template. So how is this going to look to our users? Let's start with add a template. What is it going to look like when users want to add their information? Notice that the fields that you've put in there are on the left, and it self-populates in a table on the right side. In this case, it looks like how I want it, so I'm going to save the template. And when I click on Add Entry, I see how it'll appear to people who want to add information to this database. Let's go back to that templates box and look at what it'll look like with a single template. So one entry at a time. So this is when people are looking at what has been uploaded. And again, you can see your fields there and the table on the right side. And since it's kind of set up how I want it, I'm going to leave it. And also the list template. So this is where on a page you would have multiple entries appear and what each entry would look like. I'll save template. So let's go and add an entry and see what this looks like. So I'm going to put in my name of my resource. In this case, I'm just using a test entry. I'm going to say that this is for students and teachers. I'm going to put my URL in here. And I'll put in a few additional comments. Scroll on down and hit Save and View. It'll show you what you've entered in the single view. And you can see there when I click on the link, it takes me straight to the page and it opened it in a new window as I indicated on the field when I set it up. Let's add another entry. Notice now that there is a 1 and a 2, you're looking at the second entry, and when I click on it, the link appears. I can also view as a list. Here's where both entries appear. Remember, what you're viewing will depend on how you've set up your templates. Let's add one more entry. We'll call this one Google. Put in the link. And in this case, I'm going to add a bunch of comments. In the single view, you can see that all those comments appear on the page. They also appear on the list view. This may be a bit overwhelming on the list view when you've got lots of resources, so you can alter the template to make it so that they do not appear on the list but continue to appear on the single version. Let's go back to templates, go to that list template, and because I don't want my comments to appear on the list, I'm going to just delete that entire row. Don't forget to save your template. And then go back to View List. Now you can see that that third one, where I called it Google, the comments are no longer visible, but when I go to View Single, and I go to that third one, the comments are still available. That's just a nice way to streamline what people are seeing under that list version. Let's say we want to add one more field. We forgot something that we want to collect. So let's go to Choose. And in this case, let's select File Upload. So we want people to be able to upload a file or a document. So I'm going to call this Documents. I'm going to select Add. You can also adjust the size of the file you want people to upload. Notice that under Fields, Documents now appears. We've also got to add it to all of our templates. When we go to the Add template, you'll notice that it does add it automatically at the bottom, but it isn't aligned where you might want it. So what I would do is go into that field, the table, add a row below, or wherever you'd like it, copy the field that it automatically entered, paste it into the table, add the header, and then select Save. When I go up to add an entry now, you can see all the fields that I had previously are there, as well as the new one called Document, where people can either click and drag or upload it by searching there. Let's practice this. Test entry 2, students. There is no URL, so I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to put in a couple of comments here. And I'm going to go upload it. And again, you can drag and drop, or you can select it off of your browse function here. Browse your files on your computer. And upload. Save and view. So right there's your file. When you click on it in single view, people can open it up and take a look. When you go to list, let's look at what we put together. Notice that it doesn't appear. It's because you need to adjust that template. So let's go back to templates. In this case, we're going to look at the list view. Notice it's in your fields on the left, but it's not in your table, so we're going to add a row. I'm going to copy that and put it where I want it to appear in the table. And then I'm going to put my title or tag there and click Save. When I go to View List Now and scroll down to that last entry, you can see that it now appears. Anytime you make a change to the add fields, you also need to consider changing your templates in the View Single and or the View List. You can also change the search template. So if you want to add or change how people can search for those things, you can add this. Right now it's just set up to search by name of resource audience automatically. And you can see it appears here. So that's all there is to adding a database.